Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to MCHSLive.com, your home for Morgan County football. Once again, I'm Phillip Hubbard, and we are live here at Bill Corey Stadium in historic Madison, Georgia, for tonight's matchup between the visiting Lakeside Panthers and the host Morgan County Bulldogs. Yep, that's me, Phillip Hubbard, just a small town guy from Union Point, Georgia, who just happens to love covering sports. So much so that I attended the University of Georgia and earned a bachelor's degree in journalism. I also obtained a sports media certificate from the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication. Throw a sport management minor in there and you could even say that I'm a sports fanatic. Currently, I'm a free agent looking for my first opportunity in sports radio. I have experience in being an on-air talent, radio production, and even podcasting, so I'd love the chance to come work at your radio station. This past fall, I served as the play-by-play commentator for MCHS Live. My duties were to interview coaches, gather rosters, lineups, and call the game on the live stream for folks at home watching. Today, I'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at my preparation process. I'll walk you through everything I do to properly get ready to call a sporting event. Last year, it just happened to be football. So instead of jumping straight to the Friday night lights, here's how I get ready to call a game. Let's go. My preparation process starts on Monday morning by emailing coaches to set up interviews. I make sure to do this early in the week so I give the coaches plenty of time to respond and set up a better time for them. If I don't have time to email them Monday, then thanks to the power of Gmail, on Sunday I schedule an email to send out the next day. The wait time for a response varies by each coach. I've gotten a response a few minutes after I email them, the next day, and I've even interviewed coaches the day of the game. That is why as soon as I email coaches, I start researching and looking up stats for that week's game. The two best tools I use to do research are the Georgia High School Football Historians Association website and Max Preps. I usually watch film on Huddle if need be. This part of my preparation is the most time consuming because this is what I use to base my interview questions off of. And no one wants to ask a stupid question, so I make sure all my research is done first, then I base my questions off of that. By interviewing coaches, I gather information that you can't find on the stat sheet, like how much progress a certain player has made this season, or if a freshman is standing out and making his mark on the team. That's why I do research beforehand, so I don't have to ask questions like, who's the leading rusher for your team, coach, or who's the starting quarterback? I'm able to ask more meaningful questions and get more from the coaches. For example, I'll ask a question about player X who's been struggling, and coach will say something like, oh, don't worry, he's in a slump now, but he's still working to have that big game soon. Then, 2 or 3 games later, that same player just caught 3 passes on the opening drive and caught a 4th for the touchdown. That's when I make the call, let the game reset to the kickoff, and mention, hey, coach told me 2 weeks ago that player X had been working toward having a big game, and this may be it tonight, be something to watch during the broadcast. By formulating meaningful, thoughtful questions, it really enriches the life of a broadcast because in return, you get meaningful, thoughtful responses. And don't worry, this is a talk about free zone.
Jeffrey Smith, they're on the stop there for the Hurricanes. Senior linebacker, somebody who head coach Kevin Reach highlighted in the interview I had with him earlier this week as somebody who is really shocked in this offseason in his progression on and off the field.
During each interview, I have my recorder and notebook close by. And even though I take notes during the interview, I've always found it to be extremely important to replay the recording just in case I miss something. Sometimes I listen to the recording so many times that I hear the coach talking in my head during a specific play they told me to watch out for.
William Jeffries, who head coach Bill Malone has been really positive about, saying that he's really become a leader there in the secondary, was there on the coverage and will get the credit for the pass breakup.
Though everything nowadays has turned digital, I'm still old school and I print my papers off. That way I can have them in hand to reference quickly should I need them during the game. I also pack a legal pad and plenty of pens with me to keep miscellaneous notes during a game. I'll keep track of who scores when to reference it later in the broadcast. I'll keep note of any important stats that may be forming or any important players who are having a huge impact on the game. All that has proved beneficial during the life of a broadcast to me, especially since I love recapping the score at certain points of the game for listeners who may have just tuned in.
And at the end of regulation, we've got a 2-2 ball game. Again, if you are just tuning in, both scores were self-inflicted via safeties back in the first quarter on Morgan County's second drive of the game. The snap went over quarterback Pratt Spivey's head, went through the back of the end zone, therefore it's a safety. Early in the fourth quarter, Bland back there punting for the War Eagles, punting the ball out of his own end zone. For most of the night, the ball has been snapped low. Went through his feet that time, through the back of the end zone. Therefore, we are tied 2-2.
Well, that's how I get ready for a live broadcast on Friday nights. By talking to coaches, gathering rosters, lineups, and doing some thorough research, I feel like I'm as ready as I can be for whatever happens in the game. I'm never ready 100%, but that's the beauty of sports, right? Thank you for stopping by and checking out this video today. Everything I do in this video helps make these calls a lot easier.
Morgan's beat them 31 times and tied with them once. They only beat Morgan all time 16 times. So this could be a huge win for head coach Sean Pope too, because this is his first time coaching against Bulldogs. He's in his third season. He led the War Eagles to their first playoff berth last year for the first time in 3 years. And let's see if his kicker, number 80, Jose Hernandez, again, the senior, can knock the ball through the uprights. As the offense gets set, Morgan County sideline is getting loud. The snap is up. It's good. The kick is up. Is it good? Yes, it is. It is good. Hernandez delivers in a clutch spot. The final score will be Putnam 5, Morgan 2.